12?
No. 15, a lot. So 24 of our players, 15 of them are seniors. And as was mentioned, 7 of those seniors actually started with us 3 years ago. They were starters on the team. Going back further, not 3 years ago, but going back 2 years ago, Coach Clearwater was just getting started in the school district, and I got to know him, and I realized then that he's a soccer coach, and he was pretty successful with some of the younger teams, and he was over in Cornwall. And personally, I felt that the biggest sin that Monterey committed is not getting this guy on coaching staff. And so 4 years ago, it just so happened that the varsity assistant coach had 2 daughters, and he wanted to spend more time with his kids, Mr. Sebald. And so that opened a spot, and Pasakis went up from JV to being assistant coach varsity. He now obviously coaches the girls team and brought them to their state title. And that's what the opening was for Kenny Clearwater. And you're coming, you're coaching, you're coming, you're coaching. And we started together on the JV team for 1 year. We didn't know what Coach Bull was going to do. It was a surprise to us that at the end of the season, he decided to step down. He had his last group of kids, and he decided, you know what, they're done, he's done as well. And so we were fortunate enough to just kind of like take our boys and bring them up with us. And I'll be honest, that first year wasn't necessarily the best year, because there was some contention, because we had athletes who were used to the old coach and old expectations, and we were bringing in some new expectations. But we sat there and we told these sophomores, we told them when they were freshmen, guys, we're going to win a state title. And we sat there when we became varsity coach sophomore year, guys, we're going to win a state title. Because we knew how they were as sophomores, and we knew the team we had. And I told them personally this year, I said, our game plan, at least my game plan, was not just to get Coach Clearwater on the team, but I felt that we could easily compete for a section title in our sophomore year, and we were within a minute of winning that one. And I think that's what put us on the map. Junior year, we felt, hey, year 2, these guys know what it's like to compete in the section game. We're going to win the section game, and we're going to experience a little bit of states, because we're going to win, and we'll see how far we can go. But we always knew it was senior year. I was asked before what the hardest game or hardest team that we played was, and I don't know if we could all agree about the hardest team, but in my personal opinion, I felt that the hardest game that we had to play was not the state final or semifinal, but it was actually that section final game against you, because that was us getting over the hump. I think there was more silence on that bus ride getting up to that game, and there was a little bit more nerves getting started. Now, once that first goal came through, we're like, okay, we got this. But it was us proving that we could kind of get over that hump. And obviously that hump that we got over, and we just steamrolled through to a state title. I'm going to let Coach do his talk with his, all of his athletes and introduce you to our team. But another thing that I had planned is that these things got to get retired every once in a while. The number 7 jersey is not even white. It's kind of like a pink and yellow.
Whitish.
I didn't say anything, but I cleaned all the jerseys. Actually, I tried to like bleach it, kind of get it a little bit whiter. I don't know what that was. It probably wasn't you, because these jerseys are so the one thing that's, I think, special to soccer is that most levels, when you win the championship, you get a star on your jersey. There's a trophy that's shared by the team, but that star will always be there, and it'll recognize that your team actually won a championship. So any team that plays for us, starting next year moving forward, every jersey is going to have that star. Now, they may have not earned that star, but it's going to be a memory. And so if there's a lot of things getting handed out today besides, handshakes and congratulations, we have some participation, I think, certificates to give out. But in retiring these things, because going back to the state tournament, the conversation that was given to us at that opening ceremony was, this is a special moment, win or lose, because this will be the last time that this team will ever be together. Seniors, juniors, sophomores, you're never going to have this team again. And they told us over those next 2 games, appreciate every moment. So because that this is going to be the last time that this team is together, we're officially retiring these jerseys, and they will have their away jersey, and they will have their home jersey, and they will have a memory of that they are the first ones in the history of Monroe Whitmer.
All right, so thank you, Coach, for setting us up there and for getting everybody ready for my long, rambling thing. Nolan was looking at mine. He goes, "My God, Coach, what is that?" I said, "Well, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we got to say, a lot of things that, a lot of people to talk about, and wow, you know, like Coach said, what a ride! New York State Class AA champions." 21-0, well, 20 and 21. 21-0 sounds better, so we'll stay with that. Absolutely incredible. You know, I messaged the guys all on the night of the game, and I said this to them on Huddle, and I meant every word of it. I said, you know, to say I'm proud of you all would be a tremendous understatement. Coaches, you know, players, literally, I mean, how many millions of kids across New York State have wanted to have that opportunity? And not only did you guys have the opportunity, but you seized it with both hands, and you took it. 21-0. That is something that that will be hard to top. We are proud of you. All right, first, I have to thank 2 people for putting on this wonderful event. Deneen and Deb, thank you so much. This is a little bit of just a small step up from the one that I organized last year in the school cafeteria. So, when they came to me and they said, "Look, we would like to organize something," I said, you know, by all means, please, you know, don't let me stop you. And they said, "We want to do something nice." And I said, "All right, great, let's do it." You know, and this is, I think, a really, really cool thing that all of us can experience together, and I think it's a night, hopefully, that we won't forget, just like that state championship night. Now, the first group of people I want to thank are all of you guys over here, and some of you over there too, and that's the parents. You know, your tireless efforts, supporting your kids through everything, all of the weekends, all of the late nights, and I'm not just talking about with us, I'm talking about with all the stuff that you all do with club, because we all know that soccer now is a year-round thing. It is a thing that is a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of weekends, a lot of money, a lot of all of those things. And you guys are very lucky. You are blessed to have these people over here that are willing to do that for you day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. So thank you to the parents first and foremost. Second, I'd like to thank the coaching staff of the JV team here at MW, Coach Liz and Coach Mack. They have done a really, really incredible job with the JV team. As they said earlier, a wonderful season for them this year, and the last couple years as well have been equally successful. You ladies have done a great job with the group over the last 2 seasons, and from our perspective, long may it continue. You're both outstanding teachers and coaches, and you've shown your dedication in your classrooms, on the field, and to these boys and to the program time and again. So thank you very much. Third, Coach Garan, my friend. He is a wonderful teacher, a family man, a coach, a physical trainer, a sports therapist, a warm-up specialist, a fitness guru, an organizer, a paperwork completer, an email sender, an equipment orderer, a grand marshal of festivities. The man does everything. He also, by the way, was forced to join the Section 9 Coaches Association, probably against his will this year. He is my personal mental counselor and has done that throughout the year. You do it all.
And also Billy's.
And also Coach Pasakis, yeah.
Yes, I'm the soccer team's personal therapist.
Yeah. And I just had to say, you know, you said it before, coaching with you these last 4 years, man, has been beyond great. I think we work great as a team, and certainly I can speak for the team as a whole, and that we could not have achieved what we did this year without you. Everything you did. Fifth and final, well, no, I'm skipping the fourth because they're not here. But that was the school administration people. I was going to thank them too, but they're not here, so we'll skip that. All right, so fifth. But they did get us all the turf fields and the buses and stuff, so they also deserve a thank you and a round of applause, which is great. And finally, the players. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. I said it in the Middletown gym, and I have to repeat it, even though there were many times this year where I wasn't my... what did I say, happy and joking self and stuff that normally exists in my classroom, as many of you guys can attest. I yelled more, I cursed more, I made you run more than I ever have with any team I have ever coached. Some of the kids, Christian, Colin, Joey, Aikeel, these kids have known me, I mean, for what, 7, 8 years, some of you guys? And I can guarantee that they never saw me act some of the ways that I did in some of our practices. Out of frustration and anger and all of those things. But what it boiled down to was this, and I said it in the Middletown gym, and I have to say it again. It came out of a place because we knew that you could be here, that you could do this. And all we ever wanted was to push you guys to be that little bit better in every run, in every session, in every training activity, in every drill, in every game. And you did it. 21-0. You came in better shape than any Monroe Woodbury team I have yet coached. Any Monroe team that I am familiar with. We had tons of guys running incredible runs in the beginning of the year. And we never had any injuries, and that's a testament to the work you guys did over the summer. We did not have major injuries this year the way we did in the past. I lost my place. All we ever wanted was for you guys to be crowned state champions because Coach and I knew, like he said, that you could be here. And you are. You did it. You came in better shape than anybody. You busted your butts in the heat, in the humidity, in the rain, in the cold, in the wind, and everything in between. You practiced in gyms, in mud pits, on quarter fields of mud pits, on turf in Chester, Florida, Newburgh, Suffolk. You played 8 or 9 teams ranked in the top 20 in New York State, and you beat them all. You scored 4 goals on a team that allowed 2 all year in the state semifinals. Scored nearly 70 goals and allowed 5. You kept 15 shutouts. You beat everyone and you beat anyone that they put in front of you. You are the best. You are the New York State Class AA state champions. The Invincibles. That's what we're going to get on that banner. Stand up so we can all be... Now what I'm going to do is call out the individual players for their certificates, their letters, the jerseys as well. So guys come up, I'll give you a shake, probably a hug. Some of you maybe not, no, I'm just kidding. And then you guys want to send you over to coach and he'll give you the rest of it, all right? So our first young man is one of our 3 sophomores on the team this year. He's dynamic, athletic, physical presence, capable of playing in defense and midfield. He's Coach Garon's dad's favorite player. I had to hear that every single time. No, it was hilarious. Every time Coach Garon's dad came to almost every game in the regular season, and he would be yelling from the sidelines, "Put in TT!" I love that kid. TT! And I'm not even saying that, Joe, that literally happened every game. But he is he's a talented kid who never looked out of place or like he didn't belong in any practice, in any game that he appeared in. I believe he will be a hugely important player for us over the course of the next 2 years. And I look forward to seeing what he can achieve both on and off the field. Ten Mete, Tete, Darde. That's right, the young Yaya. All right, the next young buck is another one of our sophomores. Oh, it's your birthday? Oh, you guys. I feel. All right, this next young man plays with a tenacity and desire that is uncoachable. In the preseason tryouts, his willingness to run at people, tackle people, and generally not back down from anyone that was bigger, stronger, faster, older than him was a hugely pleasant surprise to Coach and I. He's athletic, he's talented, and he can be a real threat in all of the attacking positions. He also, in my opinion, has the greatest nickname on the team, created by Christian Hess. I have no idea where it came from or what made him think of it, but he decided to start calling Connor McSherry Sherald or McSherald. I loved it, and so I don't think I've called him Connor or McSherry until this moment, ever since I heard the nickname. I think he too, though, is going to be a great player, and certainly over the course of the next 2 years, I look forward to also seeing what he can achieve on and off the field. Connor Sherald, maybe the smallest in stature, but he's the craziest of them all. His utter fearlessness and willingness to do anything for the team is sometimes almost worrying to watch. The way he flies into tackles in situations against bigger, stronger kids is something that is totally uncoachable. His desire to win is evident to anybody that saw us play or has seen him play. I've had the pleasure of teaching him in my AP World History class for the last 2 years, and I can say he's as excellent a student as he is a soccer player. He scored arguably one of the most important goals of our season in double overtime in the mud bowl of the game that was against Washingtonville. A goal born out of the type of desire that I spoke of earlier. In that game and any other he appeared in, he would not be denied. According to the older boys, quote, all the girls love Shippy. And I know he too will be a huge player for us over the next 2 years, and I look forward to seeing what he can achieve on and off the field. Eric, Shippy. Yeah, that was like no one's class. Nobody got, all right. Next young man was brought up to the varsity team last year during sections and immediately impressed Coach and I with his speed, physicality, his tenacity, and his overall game. He enjoys being shirtless more than any person I've ever coached. He's the only player I've ever coached who has offered me a workout plan and a meal plan. At a discounted rate, of course, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Even though he didn't see the field as much as I'm sure he would like to, I have no doubt that those traits that I mentioned earlier will prove a huge asset to our program next year in his senior season. I look forward to seeing how much more muscle he can put on and how easily he can destroy opposition players next year. All joking aside, he's a great kid in the classroom and on the field, and I look forward to having him on our team again next year as a senior. Kyle Chrisman. All right. Our next young man was a player that was with us last year as a sophomore and again this year as a junior. Unfortunately, he battled a number of injuries with his ankle and his back throughout the season and was limited in his playing time and his ability sometimes even to practice. He's someone who I also had in the classroom and has always made me and those around him laugh. He's a phenomenal athlete, a good soccer player, and an all-around great kid. Even if he does lead, I think it's like a local gang or something. I'm obviously joking, he's not really a gang leader. He can often be found with a huge grin on his face as he messes with people's hair with a balloon during an important state ceremony, or taunts opposition players on the bench, or gets thrown out of a game by Coach Garak. All kidding aside, he's a talented soccer player, a great kid. I'd love to have him in my class and on the field. And like Kyle, he plays with a grit, a tenacity, and a physicality that cannot be matched by many others. I have no doubt, and I hope that he will be healthy next year and play a huge part of everything we try to achieve. Mike Mack. player was another guy that was with us as a sophomore and again as a junior. Unfortunately, because of the position he plays in, his game time was pretty much non-existent because of the player that was in front of him. But again and again, he's impressed Coach and I with his athleticism, his reaction time, his shot stopping, and his tenacity when leaving his goal to stop on-rushing attackers when he's not joking around.
And Coach ready to get off the bench.
Correct.
On Sunday
if Dylan wasn't able to continue.
Yeah.
When he's being serious and focused, and I said this last year and I really mean it, he is an outstanding goalkeeper. He's freakishly flexible and has been called the Maharaja now for 2 years. Like Mike, he can always be found with a huge grin on his face, desire to joke around and make people laugh, and a willingness to, as he often says, fight you. Even Coach Karan and I. On basically any other high school team in the area, I have no doubt he would not only be a key player, a starter, but one of the better goalies around. Next year, I know he will get that chance, and he will show the whole section what he's capable of. I look forward to seeing him. Patty the Maharaja girl. All right. Our next junior is another one of the guys that was also with us last year as a sophomore. And last year, like this year, proved an invaluable piece of our team. He's been asked by Coach and I to perform a variety of roles. Starter, sub, reserve, left back, center back, left mid, even at times last season. He stepped in whenever he's been asked to. He's a driven young man whose obsession with soccer is obvious to anyone who knows him. The passion and love of the game he has makes him not only a huge fan, but also a wonderful player. He approaches every practice, every training session, and every game with a professionalism few of the guys in the room can match. He's also continued to better himself on the field, not only on the field, but also in the classroom, and has dramatically continued to work hard at improving his grades, something that we're very proud of him for. I know next year he'll prove to be a hugely important part of our team as a player, and will perform whatever role is asked of him without complaint. I look forward to seeing his continued growth in the classroom and on the field, and I know he will be a huge part of everything we do next year. Tyler Coker. All right. This next young man has also been asked to perform a variety of roles for us. He's played left mid, right mid, center attacking mid, striker, and he's been generally successful in most of them. Even though he can be a joker, and I sometimes jokingly, or lovingly, I guess, depending on how you want to think of it, refer to him as Pig 2.0. He frequently can be found on the sidelines looking out for girls whenever and wherever we are. I remember the VC game, a game in which we won 1-0 against a really bad team, and I was ready to lose my mind. After the game, the boys were all huddled on the sideline, and I thought for sure they were running their mouths and like talking trash to the VC kids, and I don't even remember what I said. I exploded on them. I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And he responded, "Coach, I'm sorry. We're just talking about that hot girl over there." I felt bad, but joking aside, he's a great player. He'll do the dirty work for the team on the field, and he'll never complain. He'll play any role you ask him. He never tries to dribble too much. He always looks to find his teammates, and he plays with a grit and a tenacity that few other people do. He started some games, he came off the bench in others, and he never complained either way. He scored a number of huge goals for us last year and this year, including what I thought was the best goal in the game against Baldwinsville with a beautiful finish to the back post. He provided a number of key assists, such as the second goal in the state final game to Colin. He's an incredibly talented player, and I know he will continue to have I don't know, most passionate maybe, crazy might be another word, depending on, I guess, the game. Young Christoph, like Jesse, has been asked to play a variety of positions. He's played left mid, right mid, center attacking mid, center defensive mid, and he's generally been successful in all of them. His versatility is a huge asset to the team, as is his tenacity, desire, technical skill, and incredible ability to somehow run faster with the ball than without it. I have literally never seen that before anywhere, and oftentimes on the sidelines we would comment on how the hell is he doing that? How is it even possible when I've never seen him win any run ever in any team activity, yet somehow he's able to beat the opposition's fastest player with the ball at his feet. He was a starter for us last year and this year. He's a smart, intelligent young man who, when he isn't cursing off refs or running around tackling people on revenge fouls, can legitimately make the claim, in my opinion, to be one of the better players in our area at his age group. I know he'll be an integral part of what we'll look to do next year, and I hope him continued success. Coach Chris Ryan.
One thing I also like to add is that his celebrations have been so fantastic that he's tricked Mr. Tate a couple times, believing that he was the goal scorer.
Yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, Chris Ryan.
All right, now, on to our seniors. I'll try not to have any more slips of the tongue there, I don't know. This young man is the epitome of what it means to be a student athlete. Not only is he a talented soccer player and a wonderful young man who's polite, kind, and respectful to all those around him, but he is the third ranked person for grades in the entire senior class. I think that deserves it. We often say to the boys in the beginning of the season that, look, the term student athlete, student always comes first. And that's something that is very important, and we try to really stress that with them. And he's arguably the best example of that. He also is a wonderfully technical soccer player who can play virtually any role in the middle of midfield and do it well. He's the best example of what can be achieved as well through hard work. He's someone who's cut his junior year, but who returned his senior year in incredible shape, finishing near the top in all of the runs and working harder than most in our preseason. He impressed Coach and I time and again with his work, his drive, and his technique. His calm on the ball, like so many of our players, was impressive to see. I have no doubt that if he were on many other high school teams in the area, he would have been a starter and a vital contributor, as many of the guys were that were seniors that didn't see a lot of time. I know he'll have incredible success upon leaving MW, and we wish him nothing but the best. Christian Guaraca. I've known this next young man for 4 years now. I had the pleasure of teaching him for 2 years in my AP World History class and coaching him for 2 years as well. He's an intelligent, hardworking, insightful, and funny young man. He makes those around him laugh, but he's also a gifted athlete. He has size, stamina, strength, and speed. He plays with a physicality that cannot be taught and has improved dramatically as a player over the time I've known him. He came off the bench for us on numerous occasions and never let us down this year or last, playing with a heart and a desire that few can match. He's an excellent player in the air. He has great recovery speed on the ground. He too, like Christian, is going to be near the top of his graduating class academically. And I know he will have tremendous success, I'm really enunciating that word, with every person, with whatever school he chooses to go to. I can say for myself that I will greatly miss him, and I know Coach will as well. Brody King. All right. This young man is another who I've known now for 4 years, coached for 3, and had the opportunity to teach him in my class. I've come to know him to be an incredibly kind, hardworking, fun-loving young man. He's an athletic boy with a talented soccer player. And over the years I've coached him, he's continued to grow and improve as a player and as a student. He's played left back, left mid, right mid, center back. He does everything asked of him and more, and does it always with a smile. He's never let us down on the field and has always done exactly what has been asked of him. He's one of the most coachable players I've ever met. And this year he developed an increasingly physical aspect of his game that he had lacked to go along with his very good positioning and technique. Again, he, Brody, Christian, all of the seniors that did not see as much time. On any other high school team, they would have been a huge, huge part and gotten on the field a lot more. I know that his positive attitude will lead him to success in college, and I know that he will continue to do really well in and out of the classroom. He'll be missed here by Coach and I, Mac Ellis. All right. This player is another that I've known now for 4 years as a coach. Another one of this group that Coach Garan mentioned, who has kind of, been with us throughout the time. He's a very talented and skillful player with a great touch and an eye for a pass. He's also one of the most fashionable players on the team, with including in his collection a vintage starter jacket and always pristine white sneakers, as well as the nicest smelling car of all time. There's actually a weird sorry, Mac. I have to tell the story. After one of the state games, there was an incident in the parking lot where one of our players backed up his car into this young man's, and his coach and I were sitting around waiting for the parents to get there and trying to check in. I was talking to him through the car window, and I was like, oh my God, I've never smelled a car that smells so good. How is this even possible, And I don't exactly remember his response, but we laughed about it for a little bit. And joking aside, they're all going, it does smell really good. It does. All joking aside, though, he's a great kid. He's a great soccer player. He's polite. He's respectful. He's kind. He's hardworking. And I know his drive and work ethic will carry him to great success. And he will continue to find his way wherever he goes. He has incredible people skills. He can get along with anyone and everyone. He can talk to anyone. And he's shown time again, not only that he's a talented soccer player, but he's a great kid. He even introduced me to some insane weird rapper that has blue and pink hair and the worst tattoos I've ever seen one day on the bus. And I think he's like an initiated member in Mike Mac's gang. I'm not really sure. Mikey Sullivan. All right. This next student athlete is another wonderful example of what that term means. He too is near the top of the class, an excellent student. He's involved in everything like student government. He's a class officer. And in the course of the last, I think, like 8 months, has overcome both mono and one of the worst flu things that I've seen. We were worried it was, we were worried, but thankfully it wasn't. He was a huge part of our success this year on the field. He stepped in time and again. He started a number of games. He came off the bench and a ton of others as well. He plays with a desire and a passion you cannot coach, and he has a willingness, like Jesse, when I mentioned it earlier, to do the dirty work for the team. He does whatever is required of him to help the team win. He covers people as they go forward. He wins tackles. He wins 50-50s. He gets rid of the ball to give it to the other players.